Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here in our gorgeous little backyard little studio, Wisdom in Golf. And today's session is so incredibly important. I'm going to talk about why it's so much more efficient to curve the ball than to try and hit it straight. Think that's crazy? Stay tuned. Now, let's look at ping pong. If you are going straight with your ping pong racket, a la Forrest Gump, and you'll notice when he started getting a paddle that curves and was grippier, he started curving the ball a little bit more. So if I'm doing a topspin backhand, this is what it would look like. A straight backhand is this. Well, guess what? That is exactly like a checked swing in baseball. So I'm waiting for the pitcher's pitch, and I'm going to go above the pitcher into center field. There's my straight baseball. If I want to hit one out of the park, it's going to look more like that. So you notice at one point the lead arm has to fold out of the way and allow the trail arm to continue. That's the same thing as this is a checked punch versus a released punch. This is a released pitch versus a placed pitch. You know, so if you look at a baseball pitch, well, the last thing you want to see is a straight pitch. It always has a little rise in it, always has a little curvature in it. Same thing for soccer. You want to kick the ball straight versus release through the soccer ball. So when you're brushing over the ball, you're collecting the ball here, releasing the ball there, you are now through the ball. But if you do this to try and hit it straight because you're trying to guide the ball to the target, you are significantly reducing the amount of velocity that is possible in your golf swing. So grab your sword. This is one of my favorite analogies. If I'm cutting through a bamboo shoot, I don't want to cut through this way. I've got to let it go. So notice when you take the club upside down and you give it a nice slash, by the way, you allow it to hinge. Many of you, if you go fishing, you would always allow that wrist to hinge so you can get that release of that fishing pole. So if you want it to go far or during a serve, so I'm going to go fishing very far, it's exactly the same as a tennis serve. You'll notice Pete Sampras, as he comes through, there's this gorgeous pronation after the serve. Otherwise, it would look like that. A straight serve is this. A release serve is that. So there's the way that the anatomy is designed, and you can test it right here. If you turn your hand up, you'll feel a lot of natural springy tension in the arm. You go palm down, and you'll feel the arm is completely relaxed. Now, when that kinetic chain engages, when I'm getting ready to skip a stone on water, the brain goes to the ground. It's using the ground to get the body out of the way. Why, you say? Because my shoulders only have 20 degrees of range of motion. That's it, that's all. So now, if I don't move out of the way, all I'm going to do is hit myself and send this ball into my neighbor again. So the brain goes to the ground, uses the ground to get the body out of the way, so I have access to the pond. And when I release, notice there's a full release of that stone. Watch your baseball pitchers, watch your football quarterbacks, watch your tennis serves. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So when I'm playing a game of golf, you remember last week I showed you the prediction. So when I'm releasing my sword, there's going to be a very specific release. So the left hand has to get out of the way of the right hand if you're a right-handed player. So have a look at my video entitled All About the Release, Shawn Clement. So we talk about a nice ping pong backhand. So I'm collecting the ball here, the elbow kicks down, and the back of the hand goes over the top of the ball. So I'm looking for a spin, a brush over the ping pong ball or the table tennis ball. So if I'm got my sword in my hands, I gather my sword with my lead hand, let it release. Notice how I'm allowing the elbow, gather my sword, let it release. And notice how I'm allowing the elbow to kick down, and that kicks my hand up and over, and it rehinges on the other side. Now I can go release my sword this way, release my sword this way, full release, full release. So this gives me the sensation of a lot more power in my swing. So once I've got my grip, I'm allowing the weight of the club to release me fully. So don't try to guide it, then you'll get that flippiness in the hand, and then see the club wants to continue. So because your left hand isn't getting out of the way, you're going to have a tendency to let go of the club. I see this all too often, okay? So when you let go of the club, then you're not allowing the club to turn you over. Therefore, you're placing, manipulating, and significantly impeding the distance in your swing. So, let it release. I'm going to make my prediction. I'm going to do a draw. Line up, ball back, face a bit more closed, get behind. I'm letting the weight of the club release me in the direction that is right edge of that intermediate point. I'm letting the club release. I'm letting the club release. So that felt fully released to the right edge. That's going to start to the right of my target and draw back to the target. Now in the fade, because the club face is less closed, and because my ball is more forward, and because I'm staying to the left of my target, this release will be retarded compared to the draw. The draw releases a little sooner in relation to the fade, not in relation to the ball, please. So I'm still allowing the club to release me here. The fade's going to release a smidgen past that. But I still want to feel the full measure of release in my anatomy. So let's say I go left edge of that. Let's snug that a bit more over. There we go. So I'm going to start it just left edge of that ball and fade it, hold it to the left side of that flag. Got it. So it feels like it's going to fade. It feels like it's going to start on the line I want it to. It feels like I'm going to hit it solid, right? So I've got distance to ball, ball position, club face closure, and posture. It feels everything's in order to go to the left side of that intermediate point, and I'm going to feel a nice full release in that direction. Let it gather, let it release in that direction. So one groove thin, but a very nice release in that direction. And that's all that matters. I'm going to try that one more time. So I've checked off all 4 departments of prediction. Gather. Yes. That was a quarter groove low. So beautiful sensation through the shot, well predicted, and everything feels like boom, well through the ball and out towards the target. So practice your sword release with both articulations, with both arms, and then practice your ping pong. Go out and play a few ping pong and feel that top spin backhand in ping pong, and then plug it into your golf swing. Same thing when you're doing, let's say I have a sword in my hands, I have a bamboo shoot horizontal to the ground. That's a tennis serve. So next time you go play that tennis, feel that nice release in your tennis serve. All we got to do is plug it in upside down. So if I'm going fishing, I'm going fishing towards you, let it load. See that? It's loaded right on that snuff box. I'm going towards you. So notice how everything's releasing in that direction. And I'm feeling the weight of my lure, the fishing pole, release me fully in your direction. So I hope, that you'll take to heart what Jack Nicklaus said 40 years ago. He said, stop trying to hit the ball straight. It doesn't exist. It's just a figment of people's imagination. We have angular momentum. It's not a straight line. This machine of ours does not make straight lines. You ask any ping pong instructor worth their weight, they're always going to tell you that it's all circles. Appreciate that. All the best. Subscribe, please, to our network. You know you're going to get the best information. And we'll see you next one.